Welcome to Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. My name is Doug, and today we're going to talk about the mentoring program that I participated in this school year. So stay tuned. So, our channel is entitled Happy Healthy Living with Yvonne Douglas. So, Happy Healthy Living, it comprises of many different things. So, of course, we have our recipes, we have our cooking, we talk about good, delicious, yummy recipes, also healthy recipes. We talk about lifestyle a little bit. We talk about working out the best we can. Um, we talk about hobbies, things that you can do for your mental state. And there's many different things in life. Church is part of our life. We belong to First United Methodist Church. And one thing that I love about our church is that they do so much for the community. And one of the things that they do, they work with, there's a partnership with Kids Hope. And Kids Hope USA is a mentoring program that allows a positive, caring relationship between an adult and student, which empowers the student to thrive. Kids Hope connects Christian churches with a neighborhood elementary and middle school. Through training and support, churches help volunteer mentors into schools to meet with students once a week and develop a one on one mentoring relationship. So, research shows that children will be successful if they have a stable, committed, healthy relationship with adults and many different adults in their lives. So, their teachers, counselors, parents, of course, relatives, and mentors. Mentors are an important part of the lives of children and so many others. As many of you know, I retired from teaching a year and a half ago. It's going on a year and a half now, almost 2 years. And I taught for 27 years in the public school system. And I was a classroom teacher, I was an art teacher. So I got to work with kindergartners all the way through sixth graders. And I taught all subjects, and like I said, even art. This school year, I had the opportunity to be a mentor to a second grader at an elementary school that is really close to our church. It's only about like 5 minutes away. So, through the partnerships of our local elementary schools and our church, I had the chance to work with this student and watch him grow this year. So I thought since it's the end of the school year, I would share my experiences with y'all and maybe some questions that you might have that I had when I first started this program at the beginning of the school year. So one of the questions that came to my mind, and it might come to yours, is exactly how long do I do this? What are the expectations of time? Well, it's once a week. It's once a week, and you meet the entire school year. So we didn't start on day one when the kids started. I think we started about a month into the school year. But from then on, every week, it's an expectation that you come once a week. Now, things happen in life. We all know that. And if you have to change plans, the school works with you. Maybe you can come another day. For instance, I had that happen to me one time. I was in a meeting with someone, and the meeting lasted longer than what I thought it was going to last. And when I looked at the time and got in my car, I was like, I'm not going to make it in time. I would have probably been like 5 to 10 minutes late. And 5 to 10 minutes late doesn't sound like a lot, but when you only meet with the student for 30 minutes, it's a good chunk of time. And so I called the school right away and I said, I'm so sorry. Can I come tomorrow? And they said, oh, yeah, you can come. So I was able to work out with my schedule to come the next day. And so he didn't miss our time that week. So I was there every once a week, every week this school year. Now there were two times when the kids were testing. In Texas, they have the state test, and so there were 2 weeks where visitors were not allowed in the school. So those were 2 weeks that I wasn't able to see him. And then one day I showed up, and the student was on a field trip. The counselor forgot to tell me, and I was like, oh, it's no problem because I had some work to do at the church anyway. It was something I needed to do. But so those were 3 times this school year that I wasn't able to meet with him. But the kids look forward to it. They look forward to seeing you. And then another question you might have is, what do I do once I meet with a student? So I'm going to go through some of the things that we've done this year, this school year, and some of the activities. Okay, so let's start with the very first activity that I did, and it was a get to know you game. And basically, this consisted of a bag that had different color sticks in the bag. And what the activity was that the child would pick out a stick, and the stick color coordinated with a question. So, for instance, the red stick might have said, how many siblings do you have? Do you have siblings? Maybe the yellow stick said, did you go on vacation last summer? Or what did you do last summer? So there were specific questions that went along with the color of the sticks. So that just gave me a first impression of the child, a little bit about their life, just a little information to get to know him a little bit in the beginning. Because when you start, they really don't tell you too much about the child, you know. So it was just a way for me to get to know a little bit about his family, maybe hobbies that he likes, which I found out that he loves soccer, and just to get to know the child. So that was like the first activity. Um, Basically, in the beginning, you want to take it slow. You want to get to know your students. So we would meet, like I said, once a week for about 30 minutes, but it wasn't really 30 minutes because by the time the children came down, because they were at lunch, and he would eat lunch with me in the library. Basically, he ate, and I would just ask him some questions in the beginning, like, how's your day going? Did you have any tests? Those kinds of things. And so just for me to get to know him a little bit. So you want to take it slow in the beginning. Um, you may want to know how they're doing in school, what are their favorite subjects, what hobbies they are into. Um, what do I do each time when I meet the student? That might be another question. So, like I said, activities are important. I would not just go there and talk because sometimes the children don't want to say too much. They don't really know you, so it could be really quiet at first. So when you have these games or these activities, it really helps break the ice, and it's something to do. So one thing I did from the very beginning, I made him a drawing journal, and this was his drawing journal. And just, I didn't do this every time we met, but once in a while, I would um, have him draw something, and it might be like, how are you feeling today? He draws how you're feeling today. Or it might be, draw what you did this weekend, or when it was the holidays. Maybe I started a Christmas tree for him and he had to decorate it. But looking at this, the very first time I had him do something, and it's very light because he did it in yellow, and it was how he was feeling, and he just drew a happy face. And and then you can see that later on around Christmas time, he did a snowman and it had more detail to it. So that was just an activity that you can always do. And if you don't have anything, you can just fill it in with that. Books, I read some books to him. This is My Day is Ruined. I chose this one specifically because I found out through his teacher that uh, sometimes when things don't go his way, he gets upset. So this was a good book to go through those types of feelings and how to deal with those emotions. Um, what else did I do? Well, bunch of games. So we played, in fact, in my bag here, we played a game called Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. This was a game that the lady who supervises all of this, her name's Cindy, she recommended this card game, so we played that. I also taught him Speed, and I've been playing Speed since I was in sixth grade, or elementary school. And so I taught him how to play Speed, and he caught on really well, and he loved it. He loved Speed. So, deck of cards is all you need for that. Some other activities we did, I created a game that it says Good Manners, Bad Manners. It was a matching game, and it was just different situations on note cards. So I would read it to him, and then he had to place it under the correct column, basically. So it's just a way to know, how does he feel about talking while someone else is talking? Does he think that's good manners or bad manners? Those kinds of things. Christmas time, we did this, how to draw a snowman. This was really easy. And I also had a little air dry clay kit, and you made the snowman together. So we did that at Christmas time before Christmas break, and he loved that. And I gave him mine, and so he took both of them home. But you might say, well, who pays for that? Well, you volunteer, and you contribute. And they do say, gifts and presents and all that. They don't emphasize that. It's more of the time that you're spending. But let's face it. Let's be real here. Kids love little gifts. They love little presents. And so for their birthday or end of the year gift, we decided as a group, all the mentors decided around $15 or less to spend. And so for Christmas, I gave him a little stuffed animal with a book. He loved penguins. He told me in the beginning of the year that he loved penguins. So I got him a National Geographic book that was appropriate for his age level, a National Geographic for kids, and it was about penguins. And I gave him a little stuffed animal about penguins. So that was Christmas time. For his birthday, I got him McDonald's. So you can purchase lunch for them too, and eat lunch with them. Stickers are always fun. As a teacher, everyone knows kids love stickers. So when he had a good day, and most of the time he did, he always he was awesome. So I'd give him a smiley face sticker. I also had um, a little like prize bag, so that was not all the time, just once in a while. So he might get like an eraser or a pencil or a little notepad. And I had this since I was teaching, so I was trying to get rid of some of my teaching stuff too. But so he was able to get a prize, not every time, but most of the time when we were together. Um, so those are some of the activities that we did as far as games go. As far as we also played Connect Four, that's another game, and the mentors were given a box of different types of games, but these are the games we mostly concentrated on. We also had word search races, so there would be word finds, and I would get one, he would get one, and we would have a contest to see who can find the most words in a certain amount of time. That's another thing we did. So having a lot of activities, a lot of games really helps. And of course, the conversations are really most important while you're having these games. Um, so let's talk about some other questions that you might have that I had. So what happens if you miss a time? We talked about that a little bit. Basically, it's important to show up once a week. And if you can't, just let your counselor know, and so they can tell the student and give them a heads up. Concerns, well, you want to stay in contact with your counselor. If there's anything that you notice, something that I did that wasn't required of me, but I kept a mentoring notebook. And what it consisted of was the, I would write the day, the time I was there, the planned activity, what I planned to do. And then after that, once we had our meeting, I would just jot down really quick, just take little notes about anything that stood out that was maybe out of the norm. If it was a good day, usually I wrote, "Oh, we had a great day today. He was very respectful," whatever it is. But there were certain times when I knew from his teacher that he wasn't having such a great day. So I would try to get out of him like why he was having such a bad day and how we can work through those things. This right here, I didn't show you this yet. This is something that I used in the beginning of the year, the first semester, and this is I know what to do when I'm feeling. This is a flip chart that I actually got at Target, and this was a really good starter. This was really good when we met at first because I would say, "How are you feeling today?" And he would pick one, and then we would talk about it. So most of the time, he always said happy. He always said happy. So I was like, okay. And sometimes I would say, pick another one. Don't pick happy. You pick anything else, but not happy, just to so he wasn't picking the same thing. I mean, that was how he was feeling, but he might have said excited. Maybe he was saying he felt a little confident. He knew what the word confident meant. And we would talk about certain things that happened during the day that might have reflected his feelings and that kind of thing. And if things didn't go so well, how could we work through that next time? So, just something, once again, working, helping the child, making them realize that we're here for them. They have someone else that cares about them, and it's more of a one on one type of relationship. So staying in contact with your counselor is important. I would jot down notes about how your time went. You know, it's not wasn't required of me, like I stated, but I would do that anyway. And also a prayer partner. You have a prayer partner with through Kids Hope. My prayer partner was my spouse, and what does a prayer partner do? Well, they basically just pray with you, pray for the child, pray for the family. If there were any concerns, I would talk to my spouse or prayer partner and discuss maybe some concerns. But I didn't really have anything because he was really good. I had a really good student. He was very respectful, and it was a really good year. I was thinking, like, why does he even need a mentor? Because he didn't seem like he did, but he was very respectful, and he also worked through these activities with me really well, which is important. When a relationship between a mentor and a student grows, school behaviors and academic work improves. Students can come from difficult home lives and may not have been taught how to interact with or appropriately interact appropriately with others. So by playing games and having these one-on-one conversations, all that can help the child with life skills and kindness. So if he won, I would always praise him, say congratulations. Uh, you're being a role model. You're demonstrating good behavior. If I won, I expected the same thing from him. So if he didn't, if he'd get upset, which he never really did, but I would always say, we would talk about good sportsmanship and what does that mean and what does that look like. So that was important. Another thing about mentoring is a student may feel special, really special, that someone else cares about them, that's coming once a week. They look forward to that time, and that could help them do well in school. As for me, I think being a mentor reminded me of my days teaching. Of course, we are all mentors. I feel like we're all mentors in some capacity. However, I feel the more caring people there are, caring about a child um, in his or her life, even if it is one school year, just one school year, and once a week, that little bit can help. It helps the child find happiness, it helps them find peace, and it helps them find purpose. And we just had a really good time. So basically, it's a lot of activities, it's games. You can also do other things like make cards. At Christmas time, we made cards. I also had him do some thank you cards because he told me after Christmas break what he got, and he told me something that his aunt gave him. And I said, hey, how about we write her a thank you card and decorate the card? And so we did that, and he was happy. It seemed like he was really excited to do that for his aunt. So showing gratitude is something that is super important to teach kids. Um, so these are just some of the activities that we did. And like I said, basically for special gifts, out the mentors decided on $15 or less for a Christmas gift, maybe end of the year gift. And Halloween, I just gave him a little bag of candy. Easter, I gave him a chocolate bunny. His birthday was McDonald's. The last day of school, I'm going to get him McDonald's. And this end of the year gift. So I wanted to show you the end of the year gift because this was under $15. And here is just a photo box that I got at Hobby Lobby, and it was like $2 because it was on sale. And it's a nice size box. On the front, I have a B for, that's the first letter of his name, and then he likes soccer, so I got him a soccer decal there. He also likes this color blue, he told me, so I made sure that the ribbon was his favorite color blue. And when it's like a memory box because inside is going to be a bunch of memories. One thing I'm going to place in there is his drawing journal. I'm going to put his drawing journal in there. So he's going to have that. I also wrote him a note and I said, have a great summer. It's of this penguin. Like I said, he likes penguins. Um, this I got off of Amazon for like, I think it was $5. It's this little crocheted penguin and it says positive penguin. I may be a tiny penguin, but I believe in you. Go do your thing. So it's a little encouragement, real cute. And then I got him a deck of cards, which I actually just had, a brand new deck, so he can always remember Speed, playing the game Speed. I also did this for him. This says a compliment jar, has his name on it, and compliment jar. And basically, it's just filled with his name with a compliment. So I won't read his name, but it'll say something like, his name is kind. He demonstrates good sportsmanship. He's grateful. He's fun. Just different compliments like that. He's friendly. So a bunch of different compliments that he can read through over the summer about him that I thought I thought of him. I left him 3 little notes, one for each month that he can open. So for June, July, and August, and it just says it's just a little note. Like this one says, "You matter so so much," and it kind of, when he opens it, he'll feel good about someone was thinking of him for June, July, and August also. So that's it. And so just a little memory box of things that he likes and we did together. And hopefully he'll enjoy that memory box. So I hope you got some good information about Kids Hope and mentoring. You might even be interested, if you have the time, once a week. It takes a village to raise a child. I think we all know that. And it's very, very important. I'm going to leave the Kids Hope website down below in case you're interested. And yeah, so I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. And happy, healthy living.